Hello. Still having some trouble with the lighting here. This is the second year of my teaching, 8th day, first video. I'll get it down eventually. Not only the shadow, but I noticed that yesterday it was hard to read what was on the board. I'll get it. Well, some of the things that you couldn't read maybe yesterday were the terms from timber framing. Sills, the pieces on the bottom, posts. Especially, I've got many viewers who do not speak English as their native language, and so these words are strange to you maybe. Beams, the ones that go horizontal, posts, the vertical ones, and braces, the ones on a 45, the ones that go like that, rafters that hold the roof up. The overshot, that part of the barn that shoots over and is cantilevered. Cantilevered is what an architect would probably call that. A mortise, a square hole in wood, a tenon, the tongue. You're going to see these in just a little bit. Pin, a wooden peg. They're also sometimes called a trennel, a tree nail. Hewn, I talked about wood being hewn as opposed to sawn. Hewn. I tried to write a little darker so maybe you could see these. Now, in the other videos, when I went up on the mountain with that group of men, I apologize for the shaky camera. I don't think my hand was shaking, but I moved it too fast. It's a habit of mine. I need to break that habit, so I'm sorry. Now, that was an interesting experience to meet that group of men, actually. But the trades, that might be a difference too. I was just thinking about that with the camera. If I stand back further, this might be in better focus. I need to think about that. Or bring the camera closer. Anyway, back to the class. I said that in this year I'm going to go through the trades, the traditional, essential trades, and the history of the trades. Well, I found that group of men that hiked the mountain, 3 of them were foresters, very well educated in the realm of forests and trees, and others were very well educated as well. Well, there was considerable interest among them, among those hikers, in timber framing. Now, they were on my farm, and before long I started to talk about the timber framing of some of the buildings and what I was doing, and it turns out that one of the men had done some timber framing himself, built new timber framing. Well, that has made me think that the first trade that I will take up will be timber framing. In a sense, it's my trade. I'm a carpenter, not exactly a timber framer, but it's going to be a leitmotif. I've used that word a lot, a theme. You're going to hear it a lot as we get into the Tour d'Europe, which should be able to start tomorrow. I think tomorrow I will be... I want to put the subject of my neighbor Josh, you're going to see him shortly, his barn on a back burner, and then turn to the Tour d'Europe. Now, related to this, I had spoken to that man about timber framing, and he's got books. And I told him that the best book that I had ever seen on the subject was a little book that I had out of England, and this is it. Later on, I'm going to show you. I'll show you. There's the. I guess a table of contents, and I'll show you the rest of my collection of books on the matter of timber framing. But I didn't want to wait for this one because this man, I could name him. He has subscribed to my YouTube channel. He was very interested in the matter. Okay, and the one other thing that I mentioned yesterday was I think there's a danger that maybe it's not a danger. Maybe it's what I should do. Go from teaching, strictly teaching, to preaching. Now, I don't mean preaching religion exactly, but giving some of my opinions without hiding them. I did that with some of the men, the hikers, yesterday. They pushed me in a way, and before long I was speaking about kilocalories, and some of them understood. All right, what I want to do now today is I'm going to go outside, so think of it as a field trip again, and I believe there will be two, maybe three videos that I make outside. So stay tuned for them, please.